Hello everyone, I am Sanika Chavan and today I'll be going to explain you about what is AWS cloud computing and the main feature, that is what is the S3 AWS services. So first we'll understand what is cloud computing. You all might be using Gmail, Google Photos for storing photos, either Netflix or Amazon Prime for watching videos or movies. What is all this? It is cloud computing platform. Now we'll understand AWS with the help of a simple example. If you are working in a company, say earlier the company size comprises of 2 employees. So all the data of the company employees, you are storing it in the computer in the form of files. Then gradually the size of the company increases. May it takes 100 employees. So for that what you would be using, you would be storing all the information in a files. But for that you will require an hard drive or hard disk for storing the data. But when you will try to retrieve the data, what will happen is you will require more time, more space. So it is not efficient. So here the AWS comes into the action. AWS is a secured cloud computing platform that provides computing power, database, networking, content storage and much more. It plays as a platform where you only pay for the amount of time you are keeping the data on that place and not for any other time. Now we'll understand more deeply about what the S3 services are. S3 means simple storage services. For understanding S3 services, we'll break the S3 into 3 different terms. First, we'll understand what is simple. So, simple means that very simple or very easy to use. Even non-technocrat or a person with very little understanding of technology can use these services in order to store his data. Then the second term comes into the action, that is the storage. Storage means what? It is a place which you are using for storing your data. The data can be large or the data can be small, but you are using it for storing. And here the word object comes into the place. But you will understand the object more detail in the later part. Then the third comes services. Services means what? The amount of time or the functions you are providing to the user. The user will use your platform for performing different actions is what the service is. I'll tell you this with the help of the definition, that what is S3 services. S3 services provides object storage, which is actually built for storing and recovering any amount of data. For storing and recovering any amount of data from where? From the internet. This is called as the S3 storage services by AWS. Now we'll understand what are the features or what are the benefits of using S3 services. The first or the foremost important feature is that it provides durability. Durability means what? You can store the data on the AWS platform for any amount of time, may it be a small duration time or a large duration time. It provides durability for about 99.99% to store your data. Even a non-technocrat can store their data on this platform. Then the second feature is the availability. That is, this platform is available to its user for 24/7. Or if the person is sitting in USA and he want to access the data sitting from any other place into the world, that is maybe India, Australia, then he would be able to access it. This is what availability, that my data I have stored there and I can access it throughout 24/7 or by sitting in any place in the India. Then the third feature is that it is cost effective. Means when you're storing the data on that platform, you don't have to think about any cost. You have to only pay the rent for the amount of time you are storing the data on that platform. You don't have to think about any technical team which would be required or the maintenance or security. Then the fourth important feature is that it provides the best security in the best possible way. That is data encryption. It provides security in the form of data encryption. Here, what you do is you store the data in the form of packets. And these packets are not easily readable by the common users. If your data gets hacked, then what will happen is you'll have the fear, oh, my data is hacked, now what to do? Here you don't have to do anything, because even if it is hacked, they are present in the form of complex algorithms which cannot be understood by a common user. So the security is one of the best security that AWS provides to the user. And the foremost or the last feature is that it is scalable. That is, if you want to store a small amount of data, you can store small amount of data in buckets. If you want to store a large amount of data, you can store any amount of data that user wants. You don't have a definite size in order to store the data. You can store any amount of data. Now, in definition, we have seen that it provides object framework. Now, in your mind, the question will arise, oh, what is the object? Object is nothing but it consists of data plus your metadata. Here, data means what? The actual content which you are storing into the file. And the metadata means data about data. That is more information about the data. And this data or these amount of objects where you are storing it in AWS services, you are storing this in the form of buckets. Different kinds of buckets are allotted to store different kinds of objects. Here, the objects or the buckets are filled in the form of row. This much amount of data is stored in the bucket. The size of the bucket is also defined. So you don't have to worry. And whenever you have to access it, it is very easily accessible. So the S3 services are very easy and simple to use. They can be accessed by the small or common people to the large amount of people, and it is very helpful or important when you are working in a large organization.